United Nations of Nature. Purpose. We want to give nature a new voice, one that's bold rather than bleak. Nature needs to become something we appreciate, celebrate and elevate, not something we fear and forget. Our activations strive to push beyond traditional nature narratives. We believe that, like in nature itself, abundance, diversity, cooperation, and exchange is what leads to innovation and evolution. We recognize rights of nature as a key global legal movement, instrumental in preserving and restoring the health of nature for future generations. United Nations of Nature seeks to amplify and create a more coordinated global effort to secure the rights of nature throughout the world and internationally. Inspired by indigenous belief systems, a global movement is currently underway to recognize that nature is not mere property, but instead has inherent rights, such as a forest's right to health or a river's right to flow. Ecuador first made history by recognizing the rights of nature in its constitution only 12 years ago. Now, rights of nature is recognized in at least 12 countries, including New Zealand, Colombia, Bangladesh, Mexico, and even the United States, where several tribes and local communities have recognized nature's inherent rights. Rights of nature is a new, earth-centered approach for our legal system. Governments at all levels are discussing new rights of nature laws, from the United Nations, for example, the Harmony with Nature Initiative, to national governments, for example, Chile, to state/regional governments, for example, Oaxaca, Mexico, to tribal and community governments, for example, the Nez Perce tribe in Paris, France. Courts are making landmark rights of nature rulings, for example, in Colombia. Political groups are beginning to support rights of nature, for example, European Parliament members and the DNC Climate Council recommendations, USA. Large environmental organizations are joining the rights of nature movement in support, for example, the Yukon. Law schools are beginning to teach courses on ecocentric law, including rights of nature, in the United States and internationally, for example, Barry Law, Vermont Law. A growing number of funders are interested in supporting the rights of nature as a solution to the environmental crisis that we have thus far been unable to solve. Values. Innovation. We challenge existing legal and economic paradigms and support those replacing them with new, earth-centered models. Integrity. We believe to change the world, we ourselves have to be equitable, just, and transparent. Accountability. We believe that developed countries must be held responsible for their role in catalyzing the majority of ecological devastation, and we must as individuals be accountable for our own environmental footprints. Stewardship. We value the trust others place in us. We work responsibly, nurture relationships, and take action in the best interest of those we serve. Empowerment. We work to empower the next generation of Earth advocates and to equip them with cutting-edge tools they need to help save the planet. Scalability. We believe we must scale our solutions throughout the world, locally, nationally, and internationally, in order to stabilize the environmental crisis. The time for bold action is now. Change the conversation around nature. We believe that nature needs a new narrative that sparks curiosity, inspires new thinking, and informs audiences about living in harmony with nature. Changing our relationship with nature requires changing our frame of reference. We'll use awe-inspiring stories to shift people's perception of nature from a fear-based problem to solve or ignore, to that of partnership and a constant source of inspiration. We work with partners and collaborators to provide resources and financial support for creators who are developing stories that celebrate and elevate nature, deepen our understanding of its value and impact, and reinforce our connection to it. Conservation and restoration. The rapid expansion of the human population and industrialization of society has led to seemingly irreversible damage to nature. We are committed to undoing the impacts created by humans, protecting these lands and their inhabitants from further harm, and creating access to the natural world for generations to come. We work with and support organizations that are pioneering the restoration and protection of natural environments and their species. Legal rights for nature. Nature has no voice in government. Politicians are elected to represent their human constituents while nature's interests go unheard. The result is that politicians often favor short-term economic gains and incessant development over the dire need and collective responsibility to maintain healthy and functioning ecosystems. In the long term, this imperils all life on Earth, including humans, as demonstrated by the ongoing global environmental crisis. We are developing the first-ever funding network specifically targeting the advancement of the rights of nature in law and society. Establish nature's voice within governance by creating a global nature party and empowering political candidates to run for office on behalf of ecosystems. Nature connectedness. Spending time in nature is scientifically proven to be beneficial to human health. Establishing an affinity with nature and creating memories in nature fosters a connection and empathy to respect and protect it. Unfortunately, to date, only a privileged few have had the opportunity to access and enjoy nature. We believe having access to nature is a human right that should be shared by everyone, no matter your socioeconomic status, race, or gender. We all need nature, and right now, nature needs us. We work with our partners and collaborators to provide and support programs and organizations dedicated to connecting us with nature and creating access to nature, especially for urban communities, and the young explorers of the world. Network. Voice for Nature is a collective endeavor. Our vision is realized through collaborative actions. The passion, initiative, and commitment of our partners continually inspire us. Together we change the conversation around nature and create measurable positive impact in the world. https://voicefornature.com/about us/